In this last year, I've fixed my training to become more athletic. Not only have I objectively gotten stronger in all my gym lifts and therefore more powerful, but at the same time I've also drastically improved my own fitness, running my first marathon, ultramarathons, and even running a pretty fast time in the holy grail of all running events, parkrun. By combining resistance training with conditioning work in 2024, I've found the sweet spot, which has allowed me to become a more versatile and athletic version of myself, both in how I feel and in how I look too. So in this video, I'll talk you through my blueprint on how I made this transformation, so that in 2025, maybe you can fix your training too. So for those of you new to the channel, my name's Andrew and I'm a 28-year-old doctor based in the UK who loves all things health and fitness related. And to me, athleticism has a few different features. It's partly about physical strength, your cardiovascular endurance, how versatile you are, and also how you look to an extent. And this style of training has gained loads of traction online in the last few years, with people like me sometimes referring to themselves as hybrid athletes. And with this flavour of fitness influencing being one of the most memed out there,
for most people this means you're a mediocre lifter and a shitty part-time runner.
I'm here to fight back. Most track and field athletes in the Olympics are effectively doing hybrid training. They're just more interested in winning gold medals at major international competitions rather than growing their Instagram followers or YouTube subscribers, so they don't call it that. Their loss. But with the rise of the fitness industry since the turn of the millennium, most people of my generation grew up thinking that peak health and fitness looked something like this. So personally, I'm all for the rise of hybrid training, even if people like me sometimes sound like they're claiming to have reinvented the wheel, because as a doctor I think this renewed focus on a combined approach to strength and conditioning is really great for people's health and well-being. Right, off to the gym. A crucial part of being more athletic is to focus on performance rather than appearance. Although I'm happy with the progress of my physique over the last 12 to 18 months since I started hybrid training, it's not actually been a big focus of mine. It's just inevitable that if you mix consistent strength and conditioning work with a healthy diet, you'll probably lose some fat and gain some muscle, and in the process start to look a little better. So I've managed to make all this progress with my strength and physique without coming to the gym and doing hundreds of sets of machine curls or cable flies. Instead, when I lift weights, I prefer to focus on functional movements and things that are going to have real life carryover. So predominantly that's free weight compound lifts, things like squats or deadlifts, pressing movements and good old pull-ups. There are other ways to optimise exclusively for muscle hypertrophy and size, but for me they don't confer as much athleticism. For most people, being athletic also means being powerful, so being able to generate large forces over short periods of time and transfer them dynamically from one part of the body to the other. And in order to get more powerful, most people just need to get stronger. If you want to be able to run faster, jump higher or throw a ball further, then whole body pushing and pulling movements will undoubtedly help you towards that goal. And also they're just a really time efficient way to train because they hit multiple muscle groups all in one go. In my own training, I focus on these compound lifts, working at rep ranges between 4 and 12, with weights mainly between 60 and 80% of my 1 rep max. And by gradually increasing my training volume over time, by either doing more sets, more reps, lifting heavier weights, or increasing the frequency that I'm lifting, I'm getting stronger and more powerful. I do have other videos on this channel which talk about the practicalities of how this all works, but these are the basics. Anyway, I'm off home now to refuel. Most studies show that keeping your body fat down in the long term is more about your dietary input, rather than what you think your energy output might be. So whilst it's true that building more muscle will improve your metabolism and doing more exercise will help burn more calories in the short term, perhaps making you leaner, to actually maintain an athletic and lean body composition, you'll need to be making lasting changes to the foods you're eating, rather than one-off cuts or fad diet plans. I try and eat mainly whole foods and aim to get a decent serving of plants and protein in with each meal. This helps to fuel my training with lots of slow release carbs and healthy fats, as well as promoting recovery and muscle growth. It's also just a healthy way to eat, whether you're a 28-year-old fitness YouTuber or a 70-year-old grandma. I don't think that just because I'm active and care about my body, I should be restricting myself to a diet of exclusively chicken, rice, and a dozen different artificial and confusing supplements. That's just not how the body works. To get more athletic, occasionally you're going to have to push yourself. So with my running, I factor in a harder workout about once a week, something like hill sprints, intervals, or maybe just a fast park run. And this is an opportunity not to go completely hell for leather, but just to push your body closer to its limit for short bursts. These harder sessions complement that submaximal training to improve your muscle strength and your anaerobic endurance, hopefully leading to higher top level speeds and faster race times. I'd recommend a slightly different approach in the gym. So instead of lifting heavy just once a week every week, I prefer to do 2 or 3 months of lighter work where I gradually build my volume in that submaximal training range, followed by a 3 or 4 week strength block. This is where I drop my overall training volume and concentrate on the barbell lifts, lifting heavier weights but for fewer reps. This higher intensity work helps to get you more powerful and athletic. But it's important to remember that getting a positive training stimulus from these harder sessions is largely possible because of the accumulated training volume from all that submaximal work you've managed to get in, if that makes sense. So finally, as I said at the start, athletes are versatile and can turn their skill sets to lots of different events, and this trait comes from the way that they work out. My weight training not only improved my muscle mass, my bone density and resilience to injury, but it made me functionally strong in a way that can be applied to dozens of real life or sporting scenarios outside of powerlifting. And yes, my running improved my cardiovascular health and my mental health, but crucially in this context, it improved my endurance, which gives really good carryover to pretty much every sport you can think of. Yes, every individual sport may have its own ideal body type or pattern of training, but no sports person has ever wished they were weaker or less fit. The other week, I entered my first ever standard length duathlon on a total win with literally zero cycling training. But excluding the very preventable bout of cramp I had due to my inadequate hydration strategy, I finished in a decent time and enjoyed myself. And in another couple of weeks I'll be doing my first Hyrox in Manchester, having only done a handful of Hyrox specific sessions so far in training. Obviously my duathlon time will be better if I actually did a bit of cycling, and I'd do a faster Hyrox if I train more specifically for it. But my point is that I can turn my hand to these different events without too much thought, put in a decent performance and still have a lot of fun. And that's all because of this hybrid approach I take with both running and powerlifting. For you it could be some other mix, but it's in combining both resistance and cardiovascular training that helped me get more athletic and ultimately fix my relationship with exercise. But that's all for today, so Happy New Year to everyone that made it to the end of the video and good luck with your training in 2025. And for more running, lifting and general fitness content, subscribe down below and I'll see you again next time.